Houston's elite entertainment show. It's all about pizzazz. Our show captures the glitz, glamour, vitality, and flair of Houston. This show will feature interviews with individuals that are making a positive difference in the community.
We will interview business professionals, celebrities, artists, and stylists. The list goes on and on. We'll cover topics such as fashion, fitness, beauty, entertainment, business, along with showcasing Houston's hottest spots, private events, fashion shows, and behind-the-scenes footage.
All right, we are back. We are back, guys. It's all about pizzazz, and we are here with a great guest this time that you're going to be really excited to know about in a minute. Matter of fact, I've known him over the years, and this guy keeps innovating and motivating and impacting the community in a powerful way. And what are we guys all about? Impact makers in the community, right?
Exactly.
So with no other ado, I've got Errol McCalla here, guys, 4-time Grammy Award nominee, 2-time Grammy Awards, over 30 awards and recognition, platinum, gold, producing. He's got mixers, remix credits. He's got songwriter credits. I mean, the guy has done a whole lot in the community. Awesome as far as producing music. But he's going to tell you he goes a little bit beyond just a music producer. Absolutely. Is that correct, Errol? Hey,
yeah, absolutely.
Start us out with, Errol, who is Poppy? E-Poppy.
It's an alter ego. You know, it's Poppy or E-Poppy. It's derived from the obvious, women calling you Poppy. So I went ahead and adapted that. And when I took it as a professional name, I had a lot of guys say, "Bro, I'm not calling you Poppy, man." So, it's just like it was. Exactly, yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put the E Poppy to it. You know, so Errol E Poppy or Errol Poppy. That's how that came about, E Poppy. So, but yeah, just derived from the ladies.
All right, so, I understand. The charisma's there.
Well, I was called Mika, and it's being a monkey, you know. So I'm like refuse to tell people what to call me. So Poppy,
there you go.
You know, I understand that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how it was, you know. Yeah, what we got today, we had all about pizzazz.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Right.
All right.
You were right at it.
So you're a songwriter.
And producer.
In songwriter and producer, and also I hear about fashion. I'm a fashion stylist myself. So tell me more about that.
Well, you know, the migration to fashion, obviously being in music industry and so forth, is probably a natural course, especially when you come from a creative mindset. So you could see patterns, because in our music, if you really get into it, a lot of times I would tell people I could actually see the pattern of my music, like literally a color come to me, anything. So obviously when it goes into fashion, it's to me it's the same element of creativity that's somewhat within there. Now when we're in, or me and my family, as we are migrating into fashion, we're more so right now, we call ourselves graphic fashion designers. This is not necessarily like, you may take a different approach to how you do fashion.
Correct.
We actually come up with the patterns for those designs.
Correct.
You may go and do the cuts and so forth.
Correct.
So I got people right now that we actually design the patterns for, the actual
So
patterns.
you're taking one industry, the music industry, where you were creative and won all these awards, and you're now taking all those talents to the fashion.
Somewhat, it's something that I can't even squash. I think creativity is with me everywhere, due to the fact that it's in me. I became creative, or realized my creative abilities very early. So every time I try to silence it and go and do something, let's say vanilla, and that vanilla could be, I'm not going to take a shot at anything, but I say real estate, anything, I end up getting creative in there. And that creativity allows me to accelerate, meet some people that I probably wouldn't have normally met, and especially when the doors were open, one place, you kind of know how to repeat that process and keep the doors open and everywhere else. So that's where we are with that. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So you actually have worked with some of the top music artists, Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
The list goes on and
And
on.
on.
So tell us how you got the opportunity to work with such A-list.
Believe it or not, it comes down from your mentality first. Because if you don't see yourself there and you start taking the approach that, I'm so happy to be here, I think that you then leave it up to chance. But when you feel like I'm supposed to be here or there, it just leads the path to that direction. It just literally. So that's
See it
the
in your
sim-
mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw myself there, and before you know it, I was there. And it was weird because people around me were happier than I was. But it's not that I wasn't happy. I just was like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So there was no starstruck, nothing else,
Correct.
because I'm just
Right.
doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this first.
Following your heart.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
What would you say, now the creativity part that you just talked about earlier, that's stretched throughout the family. Now your daughters
Yeah.
have that creativity, right?
Absolutely.
And they started
Wow,
this
that's
fashion
incredible.
line.
Yeah.
I was impressed to hear
Right.
about
Yeah.
from
Yes,
you.
amazing.
Expound upon that, because that fashion line comes with you assisting.
Absolutely.
Like Magic Johnson doesn't assist.
Yeah.
You're assisting them.
All right.
Man.
Yeah, well, obviously I teach them that business is business. So we went and done a corporation, and we have our partnership agreement. And they do have a, equity stake and share as well as myself. They can buy my stake out, obviously, because I'm putting a lot of me into it. You know what I mean?
Are they bossy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got three bosses. Yeah.
Gosh, that's
Yeah,
good.
so,
Good.
yeah,
Good
absolutely.
girls.
Yeah, but they are. They do anything from painting to
Oh, wow.
all of my oldest is now 16 and my youngest. So I got a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And again, they know what it's like to do, balance their books and everything, because
Nice.
they only grew up in an entrepreneurial environment. So
Correct.
That's great.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my God,
It
no
is.
kidding.
But I don't
That's
force it on them, because like right now I see them as we, attempt to do our meetings. Like we literally have meetings, table meetings, and we're doing meetings of the minutes and everything. But then they want to go off and play games or do
Yeah.
their sports, things like that. So, but as you asked about the fashion, there's their ability, and I'm just put it like this. I'm gonna let it grow with them.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I got my ways of getting around, so I'm gonna make sure it accelerates and gets to
Correct.
where it
Gets
needs
there
to
where it
be.
needs to
Yeah,
be, right?
absolutely, yeah. But it wouldn't
Good.
surprise me if they turn around in 2 years or 5 years, like I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
because they're young.
Yeah.
So
I
young.
gotta
Their
know
mind's
that. Yeah,
open.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Things to learn.
Yeah.
So
Sure
how
is.
old were you when you started all this entrepreneuring?
8 years old. Started-
Eight?
Yeah,
Eight.
eight.
What?
Yeah, I started a lawn service, and by 9, 10, I went and got a DBA, and from there, I ended up selling it at 12 years old, because I fell in love with
Wow.
music.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
Awesome.
yeah. I had a friend who had a rival in the neighborhood who was cutting lawns, but I did take an approach, because I used to cut the lawns myself, and I'm not saying I was good at all. I would get called back and say, "Bro, this line, look at this line, you didn't
Yeah, get this
edge."
line right.
Terrible.
Like you're fired.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
So I went, I got a couple of, went to the pawn shop, got a couple of lawnmowers,
Lawnmower.
and I had the friends around me who were younger, and they were like, I want to do this too.
Yeah.
So
was gonna
I got
ask you
smart real quick with marketing. This one little cute kid, I had him go knock on the doors.
There you go. Get the job.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, he was the cute little kid. He went and knocked on the doors and gave the card and everything. Said, "Can I cut your lawn?" And, before you know it, they were cutting the lawns, and I was back, and I would go collect the money, pay them. And I didn't even realize then that I was already on a path somewhere, when it comes to
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Yeah, but I sold it to a rival friend of mine who started to get, because I fell in love with music by 12 years old, so I started to
okay.
have something else
Okay.
to do anyway.
Got
So
it.
yeah, I just sold all of everything to him, like all my equipment and everything else. Yeah, yeah,
You gained a lot of knowledge.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel at least. Yeah.
What would you say to someone, we have a lot of viewers from
Okay.
all over, but what would you say to someone that wanted to either start their own business or get into the music industry, entertainment industry? What would you say to them?
Well, those are two different things. I guess I'll talk about the first one when you say start their own business. I think that it's very important for everyone to have some type of business, but not everyone can run a business.
That's right.
Okay,
You're right.
so the first thing is identify your SWOT, your strengths, weakness, all of the above. So they could identify what they're passionate about and maybe go into something like that. So some people have a want for or need for something, I don't even want to give the ideas, but they need to probably look into that direction because it's closer to their heart and they could probably succeed.
Passion. To have the passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct.
They're more passionate about something, and then they could probably make a difference in their life. When it comes to your second question about music, it's an industry that's very interesting. Okay, so you have to be prepared for the politics, because a lot of people that come in, they say, "Man, I got this talent. I'm better than you. I'm better." It doesn't matter if you can't out hustle me. If you can't, outwit or anything else, it don't matter how much you got, bro. It's a wrap. You got to know how to get in there and be a people person, or put the people in your team. And it's not just, I got a manager or anything. It's, does your manager, is he one of the good old boys or girls? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So because that's the deal.
They will say it's not what you know, but it's who you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now keep in mind, today with the internet, it's a lot easier to get access to everyone. So it's different from when I came in. Like, my production costs just to even start off with any serious production equipment was probably at least $10,000. Now you can get in with a computer. You pay $1,700, $1,500. They got these computers walking around here with cracked out, what we call cracked versions of the software. So you probably could buy a computer for, again, $1,500 with $4,000 worth of software and start producing. And then you go in, you could market yourself, build your SoundCloud or whatever you want, your YouTube channel up. You get followers. You can lease your beats. There's so many options that they have today that we didn't have yesterday. Okay, so it's
good.
Oh yeah, so it's no real rule on how to do this. I think if any one person told you, that's a lie. That's their truth.
Yeah.
Your truth is going to be determined by you, how much you put in, your energy, your effort, and all of the above.
Just go
yeah,
for it.
absolutely. Yeah.
And Errol, with all of that effort and energy that you've done over the years, everything that you've done over the years in a mass, tell the audience as far as what have you and your business, especially with this new clothing line and your daughter's given the participation in building this empire, what have you all done to give back to the community by way of an impact in even the greater Houston area or local or national?
Well, to speak from when you say clothing line, again, right now we have identified a clothing line to go with. However, what we do is, answering your question two-part, we help other businesses or other individuals. So we are more set up right now as a business-to-business operation. We do have our own brands that we're creating that's on our platform. However, we're more so, if you wanted to start something and you don't have the time for it, we'll set up the e-commerce for you. We'll even manage it for you. We'll even build product for you. So we have about 4 companies right now that we're actually, we have no problem with being a ghost. We pay us, we good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we have no problem. So we actually have 4 companies going on a 5th and possibly 6th, and then I think we have to cap right there. But we're running their social media, running their all of the above. And, and it goes from anywhere from a coffee shop to a barber shop. And or just other, absolutely.
Outstanding.
So going on the fashion, we're gonna talk fashion.
Oh yeah,
right?
I bet. Yeah, that's
so
right.
I noticed you brought something in the bag. You can show us and talk about a little bit about it.
Yeah,
well,
we definitely see that.
All right,
something in the bag. And where's your products made at? Where?
Well, this particular product is made out of Italy.
Perfect. Yeah, they make good stuff.
Yeah. So
yes.
If you need anyone to go to Italy with you to pick out anything,
we saw
Italy
for some reason are known for fashion so much. Like, we were at a Starbucks one time and this guy had a very nice shirt and he was like, you gotta go over there and talk to him and find out where he got his shirt. So he said it was from Italy.
Wow.
And wow, look at that in the bag. Nice.
Hold these up, man.
Italian suede. I call this one raspy bubblegum.
Raspy bubblegum.
Yeah, R-A-S-B-Y.
Okay,
raspy.
why are you calling it raspy?
I didn't want to go with raspberry. I wanted to create something that I thought was drippy. Like when I say drip, I'm saying like hot. All right. So I wanted to do. Well, I don't use one. Excuse me.
Look at the logo right here.
Yeah, that's actually art manifested. So this is what I was talking about. One of
Let me look.
So you can smell the.
Shoes right there. Show the audience what those look like.
Love.
Yeah, the bubble gum being like you stepping in bubble gum.
Do you make these for girls too? This is for
unisex.
For
that is a unisex. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And in that bag, do you have anything else in there for me? For me?
Not today.
Do you remember to bring
Again,
something for
I was
us?
I actually was gonna wear this, and I thought it was too much with the top, so I said, let me just throw it in a bag,
Yeah.
put on my black shoes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I gotta
The bag's
Oh,
good.
mellow down up here to pop it down there. You know.
Where
Yeah.
can people get this?
Well, right now they can go to E&E Trends, and that's the letter E, the letter N, the letter E, trends with an S.com. And you can get, and also for the shoes, you can go to rarekicksclub.com. That is a E&E Trends company. So again,
Oh, so you have to.
we build a sell.
Right.
Got it.
I'm gonna build up Rare Kicks Club, have all the popping shoes on there. We just put a deal together with Nike, nothing special. You could do it yourself as well. And we're gonna customize some Nikes, which we already have, but they'll be listed on there as well.
Okay.
And I'll build that and sell it. The company.
I want a
That'd
bag.
be great.
I want a bag
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Absolutely.
I need to.
Yeah, we can get you back. We just did a fashion show where participated. We didn't do it, so let me correct that. We participated in Divine Fashion Show.
Uh-huh.
Successful, very good. That I was invited when they saw some of our designs, and we did is we put about 5 of our bomber jackets and 5 bags in there, and we created a summer, spring line.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the
Yes.
theme was Havana
Yes.
Nights, so we just went with that. So this was one of the
Havana
bags that
Nights.
was featured in there. This one's called Network. But yeah, we've literally been selling a lot without just when people see, they stop and say, "Hey, what's this or what's
Yes.
that?"
Word of
And-
mouth.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you do is so creative.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Who is your mentor?
Mentor. But to be honest with you, a lot of my mentors were your regular people, no celebrities, until I obviously, got into that element of us. Hey, you're worthy of following, because I could see their life and see how they live it. But I'd say like one. As a matter of fact, I'll call him out right now. I got one guy in particular when I was coming up into this, a guy named Sean Blaze. They call him Sean Blaze, Sean Henderson. Went to his place and I saw he had a family. I saw his daughter, I saw his son was just born, and his wife, she was supporting him. That was a paradigm shift for me, literally.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I was like, yeah. So to this
Yeah.
day, I value him, and I'm excited when I see him, because what I saw in those times with him
Yeah.
is what is reflective in my life now. So that was,
Awesome.
Wow.
something that was, when I saw
It
that
resonates
value, it
Yeah.
deep, because I didn't grow up like that. So when I saw it, and I just didn't think that I could be in the industry as entertainment and have a family, or a successful, happy family, at least, you know what I'm saying? But so when I saw that coming from him, or at least from I don't even care what was going on inside, the outside looking in was enough to give that
Enough to-
impression.
That was inspiration.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So people like that
love that.
is where I get my inspiration or so forth from, because I'll take the ideal of what I'm looking at, because being in the industry and helping to create publicity. I've done all of this stuff with labels and artists and so forth and on. Some of the stuff is not always what it seems to be. Okay, so
see.
there we go. So you can't just look on the outside and at them at least and just say I like this person, because sometimes they're a part of a system or a machine that's built.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so when I see an everyday person doing a certain thing, that's a difference for me.
You can
Yeah,
get the inspiration
yeah.
from just
Absolutely.
anyone.
It could be anyone. It doesn't have to be
Right.
so influential, is what I was
Exactly.
getting at. And that's why I gave a shout out to the homie Sean Henderson, because again, it still to this day sits well with me. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Understand it.
Oh yeah.
What would you say, last couple weeks ago, we had Paige Parks here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we talked about
Yes.
the aha moments, right?
Uh-huh.
That people have in their lifespan.
Through the journey.
When they went through that journey and the success started to show itself,
Yeah.
there's an aha moment. And her aha moment, she described, there were multiple, but one of them she described as meeting Angelina Jolie in the elevator. And
Okay.
had to do an aha impromptu, if you will.
Yeah.
And only had a 30-second spinner to do it. And that piece that she did in that aha moment pretty much impacted her direction from then on, as far as meeting a celebrity who was on the rise at that point in time and embracing that moment. So if there's an aha moment, I know that you got a chance to, at one point in time in your career, to write songs
Okay.
for some and some very prominent individuals today that we all know by name. But there is a journey, and I know that there's people right here in the audience wanting to get to that breakthrough in their journey, right?
Okay.
And they wanted to identify how you carpe diem, how you seized the moment when it came to being able to write songs from some very prominent people that we mentioned earlier. What happened at that point, in time, that allows you to do that and seize that time?
Always be ready. Again, remember I said early on that you are supposed to be here, so you already claim your spot and position. There's no time for, hey, I got some beats, I'm gonna get them to you later, I'm gonna get back to you. I even made this mistake just the other day. I met an executive, and for some reason I wouldn't give her my number in the moment.
Oh,
I kept
wow,
like,
really?
let me get your number, like
Yeah.
stupid, right? So, so I got her number and everything. I didn't exchange, and by the time a week later I go and hit her back, and there's no response.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because again, that was lack of action. So that was another valuable lesson. Like, bro,
Immediate
Yeah.
immediate. I should have gave her that
Yes.
number.
So-
Established the,
Yes.
you know,
You never know.
Right.
You're gonna get
Exactly,
one
yeah.
shot.
Never
Yeah.
know.
You gotta
Exactly.
seize the opportunity.
Absolutely. So
I
do
love that.
everything as if it is the final product. Because people they still to this day come to me and say, hey, I got this, it's not mixed, or I'm gonna, or they didn't even record it. Literally, I've had people, family and all, put a tape in a phone and start recording. And I'm like, bro, your competition is not doing this. They are in the studio.
That's right.
They're
Doing
knocking
it
out
right.
heat.
Yeah.
So you
That's
got to be ready
true.
always, and make no excuses. Just make it happen. Find a way.
Yes.
Go cut some lawn like I did, bro. That's how. I got my paper. Like I got my paper up. Then like, don't get it twisted. Like that's why I always use that, and I make that joke telling people go cut lawn. But at a very early age, I had a lot of money through cutting lawn.
To
Right.
come.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
You're well organized.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, so-
awesome. So we all have fears. I always talk about this because I always have fear, and I always trying to figure out how I break fears. Right?
Okay.
How do you break your fears to be successful?
There's no one answer to that, but
Uh-huh.
an answer would be you have to almost get spiritual and say, look, I'm here experiencing, so let me go for this experience, right? And get to a point where what are you afraid of? Is it afraid of judgment from others? Because after a while, it doesn't matter. It kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
And if you identify who you are and what you're here to do and who you're here to work with, whether it be just to experience for yourself or whatever, then there's nothing that you should be fearful of because you've already identified who you are and what you're supposed
So
to be
basically,
doing.
you're saying identify the problem and
Not necessarily a problem. There's not
Oh,
a perceived
the-
problem. Like,
uh-huh.
let's say you're a fear. If that's what I'm saying. When you say fear,
I'm I
Okay.
fear failure. Like
there you go.
It's like,
And okay, all
I
right.
don't want to.
There we go.
you
Now
know.
we're going somewhere. so the most of the successful people, including myself, have failed miserably plenty of
Really,
times.
yes.
I just told you about the lawn
Yes.
service where people would call me back religiously. Okay, like a
Yes.
like a
Right.
Sunday service,
You left a
saying,
strip.
"Bro,
So-
you left a
Yeah.
whole
You
strip."
did not
Okay,
do a
So
good job.
success comes with
Yeah.
failures, correct?
absolutely.
I mean, you
So
have to
you have to get to the point where you are not afraid to be quote unquote naked. Okay,
Got
just
it.
get out there and
And
do
do
it.
it.
Just
And
fail
do it.
forward.
Yeah,
Do
fail
it.
forward. Absolutely.
She has told
Yeah.
me, just do it. Just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
That's Nike's.
yeah.
That's Nike's trademark.
But I'm
We
still
gotta-
like a little baby,
Yeah.
you know. I'm like, I don't want to do it.
And the more you do
Well-
it,
But I want
the
to find
more
out
you-
through all my guests
Yeah.
how they become successful in breaking fear, because I want to get there. I want to
It's-
get there.
it's gonna
I mean,
be-
I'm successful in certain parts of my life, but there's more that I want.
All right, let's talk about that. So one way, and I told my daughters about this as well. It's these 3 E's:
Oh,
energy, emotion, and what's the other one? I'm kind of having a brain moment right now, but
I get you. I
yeah,
get
anyway,
there.
it'll come
Many
to me in
times.
this.
Yes.
But overall, when you put, like, you've succeeded somewhere else and you're confident somewhere else, you want to take the energy from that and bring it forward, because energy always is.
Got it.
So if you succeeded at a test, if you succeeded at, I don't care what it was, as minor, as minute as this, because you'll realize on an energy level, everything is basically on the same level.
Correct.
So it's easy to create $1,000 as it is $1 million, literally. Okay, but if you can't visualize or see it, it's not just as simple as visualization. It's really believing,
Got it.
being insane enough And to say, hey, I can do this, and it's gonna be given to me. I've seen people create that for themselves, where they literally said it's gonna be given to them, and it was given to them.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all in no time. Okay. So fear, obviously the acronym would be false evidence appearing real. But you build up these fears
Yeah.
because you haven't dropped your ego. Your ego is in that way of what if.
Yeah,
I still
what
deal with
if,
that too.
yes.
Okay. There's reasons why I haven't done certain things that I've already should have
yes.
done.
Right.
You know, so
Certain
I'm not.
things I
Yeah.
want to do, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh.
Yeah. But what I do is I borrow from the past and say when I succeeded at whatever it was.
Whatever. So you just,
right.
I then borrow
good
that
advice.
that whole energy,
Yes.
the vibe, how I felt, and then I push forward and visualize.
advice.
Okay, and put that energy on it, and before you know it, I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely.
Awesome.
And
Yes.
I think possibly, even when you see individuals who have less, or may have a situation where maybe they don't have their eyesight, or they don't have their arms, their legs, some things we take for granted, right?
Yes.
And they're doing 2 to 3 times more than someone who has
That's
all those
true.
senses. And just that alone
Yeah.
motivates a person to say, hey, there's no way I can sit down. It makes no
Yeah.
sense, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then so now all of a sudden you start to redirect and go do those things that you're fearful about, right?
Well, you can't let life beat you up because it will if you let it. Okay, so you have to literally take put it like this: no one wants to hear you complain. No, I don't want to hear it. I get calls all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
put the phone down and just listen. And
Yeah, you
are
want
you,
the
are
energy.
you done?
You
Are you
want the
done? And
energy
then
calls, good
yeah.
positive energy calls.
But you're not
and
always
the
going to get them.
negative.
The reality is.
Yeah.
So to be able to help people walk through those moments is a very good thing. But again, each person has a reason why they are fearful or lackadaisical or whatever, and they have to source themselves. Like, again, I could sit up here and tell you all the good stuff on how to do something, but if you don't work on yourself and your
yourself.
mentality first, then it's a wrap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a
It's your
wrap. It's a
mindset.
wrap. It's just not going to happen. Yeah.
What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest.
Yeah, to an extent. But see, even stuff like that, I kind of get out of all the cliches but I get into the essence of what's being said, because sometimes, like when you say it, it rhymes, it sounds good, but it doesn't stick with certain people. To become an action, to become a habit, that becomes a pattern, that becomes
True.
Right.
a manifestation form. Again, that's why with this, when it comes with art manifested. This came from my daughter, my youngest daughter, and I. We do a daddy and me time type of thing where every weekend
Nice.
I have to have an individual moment with all of them. So like I got like 4 dates going on every week. Wife,
That's
kids,
awesome.
But we go and we paint, and she actually at 9 years old sold her first painting for $70. So I thought it was
Incredible.
impressive. I thought it was really
Yes.
impressive. Yes.
Wow.
A whole
So we-
family
Oh, yeah.
full of talent.
Oh yeah.
You go out and celebrate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, ice cream all day. Yeah. Yeah.
She's buying it. She's
Yeah.
buying it for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
she called, her
nice.
name's Elise, so she calls her line Elise Dripping, and because actually her first painting that she actually did was a drip paint. She took the water guns, filled them up, and it came out really nice. And then we ended up making shoes out of it and everything. So we said this is like art manifested into whatever, and that kind of started some of that this whole thing. So
Great
art
branding.
manifested, yeah.
Art manifested.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, our time is just
All
about
right.
up, but Errol, thank you so much
right,
for
thank
coming
you.
in and
Yes.
sharing your
Yeah.
wisdom with our viewers today. And remember,
All right.
it's all about Pizazz. You can see us every Monday at our new time is 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7
every
p.m.
Monday. So
Monday.
you'll definitely want to tune in. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click on and like us, follow us on all the social media platforms. Yes. All right.
All right.
We want to give thanks to all our sponsors: Esquire Robert Markland LLP, Clayton Nash Real Estate, Lush Boutique, Martinez Boxing, Alicia Stringer, aliciastringer.com. Thanks once again for supporting It's All About Pizazz.